For one of these players, this is going to be the last appearance in the WCS Korea. We have Horror up against Rain, and this is the third game. The score is tied. Cloud Kingdom to the top right. We have our Zerg player starting for LGIM. It is
LGIM Horror.
And his opponent, with a nice performance on Ohana, was able to tie things up, force this third game. Starting to the bottom left in blue, we have our Protoss player, the Casper player known as
SK Telecom T1 Rain.
Sporting the collar that Caldor likes so much.
The what?
The collar.
Ah, yeah.
I like that collar. That's the type of jersey that I like.
Yeah, the collar is pretty cool. I would prefer it a little bit darker though.
Sup, Leavage and Spiral?
I don't know.
I don't know what's up with them, but I hope they're enjoying watching. They're probably jealous because they're not here.
That's always so mean though. You know, if you really want to go somewhere and then you see a shot of your friends and they're really having a good time, and then they just hold up a sign or a picture or whatever and like, yeah, I would like to have you here, but your own fault.
They're like sitting at home going, well, you put 4 exclamation marks on that sign, that should have been a question mark. I was actually thinking the same thing, but either way, Sup, Leavage, and Spiral. That's all I have to say.
Top right now is standard opening here. No shenanigans, of course, the probe already here, and this is all that Rain needs to be on the safe side. Every single game is starting things very safe with a forge. He doesn't try to sneak in a Nexus burst, which we see so often in the GSL these days.
Yeah. And he consistently attempts to block the hatch. We saw in game number 1 he was unsuccessful, but putting pylons down in game 2 and 3, forcing the third base to be taken instead, and just barely not able to deny that. It was actually a close call. It's almost impossible to do at the third base with only 1 probe, but it can be done.
Yeah. For now, of course, the one thing that Horror really needs to do is to get those Zerglings to kill the pylon at the natural. Well, it actually has been cancelled by Rain, so he doesn't have to. He can run straight towards his opponent's main, but the cannon will be ready in time to make sure that the Zerglings don't run in and do too much damage.
Yeah, and he's got to cancel that because the third base was made. So this means he had to make a pylon at home, and the gateway is a little bit delayed as a result. But everything is floating out here pretty normally for both players. Nothing really unusual to see here.
From Rain, we've seen 2 different styles so far. On Daybreak, he started with a 4-gate with +1 attack. Then on Ohana, he mixed things up with a Stargate and started to hide his Phoenixes. Now we have Cloud Kingdom, which is a map where you can also be very successful with the Stargate play. We've seen this from MC like every single game against Zerg on this particular map. But it's also a very strong map for an Immortal push. There are different strategies that you can play here, and Rain seems to like to just throw in a different style every now and then. So let's see what he's going to do this time.
Oh, that is a very good question. I think we're going to see a late game on this one. This map and the style that we've seen from Rain. Even last game when he did the big attack, he intended to take a 4th base several times, but he was denied by either Ling run-bys or burrowed Ling. So it's you know, an attack he went for because he felt frustrated, not because that's kind of stylistically what he likes to do. And I think he's going to go for the late game again. It seems to be something he's comfortable with.
Saves his probe here.
Yeah, that's taking care of your probe.
Yeah, with just a few hit points. And of course, what Horror wants to know, that's why he has the Zerglings right at the wall, and he wants to know, is there a +1 attack upgrade? And there it is, has been started, so he already knows that whatever Rain is going to do, it's centered around a gateway attack. There's just no other reason to start with this upgrade, because you need 100 gas to pull it off, which means that if you actually try to do some kind of tech, it will delay the tech by so much. And there's just no reason to really do it. You can't fake out your opponent, because if you would, for example, now start with some kind of tech-oriented style where he doesn't really need this upgrade, that is not centered around gateways, it would be just so much delayed that Horror would be able to prepare with no problem at all. So this kind of fake doesn't really work, therefore Horror already aware that something gateway heavy is coming his way.
Something gateway heavy indeed, and he's making it now the 2nd sentry and getting double gas before the gates. This means that he's going to follow this up with pretty quick robotics tech most likely. And he may even follow this up rather than going for the +1 with 4 gateways. He may go for, well, he's getting a Twilight. I was going to say go for Immortal push with 1-1, but Fast Twilight here could indicate we see one of these Blink Stalker pushes that you talked about in game number 1. That's
exactly.
Entirely possible here.
I really like the Blink Stalker push. If you have a decent Blink micro with your Stalkers, you can do so much damage against an opponent. But of course, the Zerg player really needs to hold this off. He needs Fungal. It's awesome if you can set up flanks. It's great if you have the micro to pull this off the Zerglings as well. But against a Protoss player who really knows what he's doing, a +2 Blink Stalker attack is very strong as long as there are no Fungals on the map to stop your Stalkers from blinking.
Yeah, and you know, right now we have Zealot actually coming in here to try to scout the composition, and he's going to maybe force a few extra links. No, 7 drones from Mage doesn't fall for it, and a ton of gateways coming down here. In total, he's now going up to 7. 7 gate, Blink Stalker, +2. No +2 research just yet. There it is. You absolutely need +2 to make this work, because otherwise your Stalkers cannot kill the Roaches fast enough.
There are no scouting information so far for Horror. He has 2 Overlords, one at the natural and one to the right side of the main base, and he's getting the Overseer now. The Overseer will be able to spot this, and then we should see the Infestation Pit by Horror, because so far he's just relying on Roach speed, and Roach just doesn't get any kind of tech just yet, but this will change as soon as the Overseer knows what's going on.
Yeah, drops the Changeling. And now he's going to see, he splits his Changeling off in a different direction, and now he's seen everything. 12 Roaches on the way, 13.
He doesn't have the gas now to get the Infestation Pit, but I think this is going to change. He has already spread his creep very, very well, and this will also help him with this, because he sees the Stalkers early, he knows where they are going to hit, can prepare accordingly.
The Overseer will escape from the Stalker fire as well. Third base is going down, and I think he may, now that he's been scouted, decide not to go for the attack. But this puts him in an awkward position tech-wise, because if now Horror gets the Infestors up, he's not going to have any answer for those for a long time, as his robotics is only halfway done.
And Horror decides to not get the Infestation Pit immediately. Instead, he's just trying to get his Burrow, which is also very important. This is one way how you can deal with it, as long as the Protoss player doesn't have detection. So you can just lay traps for your opponent, and he wants to get more units out. So this is his approach to this. He's not going for Fungal, but instead just a huge unit count and going for the Burrow upgrade, which he can pull off, because with Overseer he also spotted that there is no Observer just yet.
Rain is pretty content to go for this expansion though. He's not changing things up at all. And the thing is, he's now forced a ton of Roaches, which means a Horror has to attack. He's like, well, I just made a ton of units. I can't just be like, well, okay, you're not attacking me. So he's got to put pressure on here. The Force Fields here are everything. He's got Burrow as well. You mentioned that. The Force Fields will determine this fight.
When Rain saw that he was scouted, he was aware that his opponent would prepare. Therefore, he went for the third base. And now we have him defending exactly this. He's pulling here White Rust style. First we take expansion and then we defense it. But this might not be possible for him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose the Nexus. He's being targeted down. So many links streaming in here.
White guy is sad right now. The expansion is gone.
He's like, no, you not do the second part right.
No, you have to defend it.
We did not say lose it. Well, this is starting to look really scary for Rain. Not only is his Nexus dead, but the Roaches are streaming in. He doesn't have a lot of Force Fields left. He does block them out one more time.
The sentries loses. Why doesn't Horror turn around and kill a few sentries with these Roaches that he just lost?
Yeah, that's a mistake.
He could have killed at least 3.
And he could have even, Rain could have even blinked aggressively to chase after the rest of the Roaches as well. Both players kind of a slight misstep there.
Horror could have done better, but in the end he killed the third, which was important. He still has his 3 bases, and Rain knows that at this point there is just no way for him to push out. Horror is also going for the Infestation Pit now, so whatever Rain does, he's in a little bit of a tricky situation.
Yeah, he's behind.
He has to take a third now. There's just no way. He can't attack on 2 bases at this point.
He cannot. You're right. And he doesn't have the army to do so. He knows how many units Horror already has out, plus the Defender's advantage. And Horror's already going for those Infestors, so by the time he gets there, if he fights for a little bit, the Infestors will come out. And now he needs not only the third base, but he needs... Really, what he needs is a 4th base, but he can't take that for a while, so he has to turtle, he has to play defensively. And this means, you know, as I mentioned, Horror is kind of one step ahead here. He's getting Overlord drops as well, which means he could go for some more aggression. Hopefully he doesn't make the mistake a lot of Zerg players do, though, and overcommit to that aggression and allow Rain to get back into this.
I actually don't like the dropping on an army too much if he tries to get into the main base. I usually... Okay, I think I have to elaborate a little bit on this. I like the idea of the drop play. I just don't like it in this situation because Horror is already so far ahead that I feel he doesn't need it and it's taking too much of a risk.
Yeah, You know, if you drop, for example, 2 Overlords full of Speedlings, that's one thing. But if you try to drop on the army, that can actually allow the Mortals to do more damage than they should. And we'll see what he decides to plan. He may even go for rarely, but it's possible Infestor drops.
The drops are not as easy as you would assume they are. I talked to Naniwa and Mana, a few other Protoss players about it, and they're like, hey, if the Zerg player really wants to drop his entire army on my units, he's welcome to do it because he will most likely lose everything as soon as I pay a lot of attention to my unit movement, my unit control. He can drop all day and I will probably be the one getting ahead of it.
Yeah.
So at this point, with all the options that Horror had, I feel like it's not the best option, but it can still be quite devastating. If Rain is not able to spot this, and then suddenly he has a whole army in his main base, he's gonna lose a lot here. But it's still taking a little bit of a gamble by Horror, especially since Rain has quite a few observers on the map.
You're right, and I'm wondering if Horror is even going to really use this. He got it, but it's something that's flexible as Zerg. It's a good upgrade to have. He doesn't have to commit heavily to it. He can just decide later.
Yeah, it depends how he uses it.
Exactly, yeah. And so now he's got this big army on the map. His Zergling count up to 77 right now. That's going to allow him to kind of continue to control the center. I see some Overlords moving around. I think he's just going to go for a Ling drop, but he's got Infestors next to them as well. It's not entirely certain what he's going to do with these drops, if he does anything at all.
But he wants to go for the Broodlords here, and this is definitely a good choice because he's on 4 bases right now. He knew that he had the time because Rain was trying to secure his 3rd base. And now with only a few Overlord drops, this is something that I really like.
Yeah.
I was really afraid he was going for like some kind of massive drop attempt that can just backfire so fast, but now with only a few at the natural, this is great. Yeah,
drops 2 Overlords, is immediately spotted. And he will actually be cleaned up, but he's going to lose a Stalker or 2 in the process.
Yeah, he's actually losing like 1, 2, 3. He's going to lose more. There are quite a few Roaches, and the rest of the Roaches is now in the main base. And this forces Rain to move out a little bit slow with the army that he has. The Roaches in the main base not doing anything, though. He needs to send them into the mineral line. The Warp Prism at the same time is being intercepted immediately.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to use that at all. I think that may be why he was not paying attention to the Roaches in the main. This is something that Rain spots and will clean up now. He's getting charged. He got charged 2 games in a row. This is not a good choice.
But so let's say, we want to fight, and they charge in, and then Rain's like, no, guys, come back. That's not a good idea.
Rain's like, so go ahead and send those Zealots into the forest. He's like, oh, wow.
Look at this Warpin.
Yeah, this Warpin a lot more effective. He was a little bit preoccupied. He's going to take out the spawning pool.
The spawning pool is gone, guys.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, there are the Roaches. I was actually a bit scared that he would lose the Infestation Pit too.
But he's going around that forest I was talking about before with the Spine Crawlers. And he's trying to position himself in a way where he can catch the army. And Horror is now hard-pressed to move over to defend because he doesn't have spines at the more pivotal location now.
This is actually a pretty scary army that Rain has. The one thing that's missing in the composition are, of course, Colossi. It would be great to deal with the Spine Crawlers and the Infestors. He doesn't have them. If he can force a good position, then maybe he can do some damage, but this is this is a little bit weird.
This is a little bit weird indeed, especially how many Charge Zealots he has here. He cannot use them with the Force Fields he's just dropped. I don't like this because he already denied mining at this base. He killed the gases there. He doesn't need to do this. And the bungles are good. He's taken out a lot of these sentries with those bungles. At the end, Rain is going to lose too much. He cannot actually attack the Spine Crawlers. The Spine Crawler range is so far.
The force fields are decent at the beginning. They're not the best, but they do the trick. Now he's running out of energy though, and there are still Spine Crawlers left, and Aura is already remaxing on Roaches. So this is most definitely not the best engagement for Rain here. He lost a lot, and at the same time his fort is being attacked. A great position with these Roaches for Horror. He's probably going to take, well, it's going to be close. He might be able to take it down, but it's going to be a stretch.
I think he's going to get it almost down, which means he can come back for it later. Half hit points now. But he didn't kill the hatchery. Rain did not kill the hatchery. He killed the gases and moved the drones away, but lost a lot of his very important army. The Fleet Beacon timing is much better this game.
Oh, yes. If you compare it to the timing on Daybreak, this is just, wow. This is so much better.
It cannot even be compared, basically. That's how different it is.
And Horror is still in a bit of a defensive position, even though he has 40 additional army supply. And no, Rain, you can't... Oh, wow. He's blinking into the Spine Crawlers and the Infestors.
That
was a mind fart.
That was an embarrassment, Force Field.
That was definitely not... I mean, why?
That was really,
why
really
would
bad.
you do this? Blink into the Spine Crawlers and Infestors. Now the 4th is gone. Rain with a few mistakes that could really change the outcome of this game.
You know what's funny is there's very few situations where stalkers are used to blink forward. They're usually used to blink backwards.
And you never ever blink into spine crawlers if you don't have. If
At
you're
a
not
choke point
if
with
you're not
infestors.
100% sure that you're going to take them down and there's no army to back them up, then you never blink into spine crawlers, especially when you don't have vision onto the high ground.
Exactly.
He didn't see how many there were. He just blinked in.
He was like, well, let's go. That was, I mean, we're being pretty critical here, but I mean, that was a silly decision. Mothership is a third of the way done. The Broodlords are already out, some of them. And Rain can still take this match. He's going to need another Nexus, though, including, you know, not including the one that he's already remaking right now. He's going to need a lot more gas to rebuild his army.
It's going to be interesting to see who's going to win the late game now that the Broodlords are being built and the Mothership is on its way. Vortex is, of course, an option and what mostly the game is going to revolve around. And one thing that Horror doesn't have is a very superior economy. He's on 4 bases. He was able to take down the 4th of Rain. But at this point, Zerg kind of wants to take a 5th.
Yeah.
And this is not really going to be possible for Horror, I feel. But he's moving out now. He has the Broodlords, he has the Infestors to back them up. And the Mothership is not ready just yet.
Storm is an interesting choice here. That can be used really well against units coming out of Vortexes, but also just in general. But that's a lot of gas spent, you know what I mean?
This is a timing that I really like from Horror. This is something that he didn't use on Daybreak. As soon as the Broodlords are done, he moves out. He knows he has the Infestors to back them up. And he has a ground army that is able to prevent those Stalkers from blinking in. So Rain has to stay. He has to stay away from this army.
Yeah, so he can't protect his Nexus. This is so. You're so right. This is. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. He's sieging up when there's an opportunity to do so. No hesitation here. Although now he's moving his Broodlords around the backside. This gives the Mothership time to now approach. He doesn't take out the Nexus, but he's working on the Assimilator. He's going to be able to kill several of these probes as well. And it looks like Rain has decided it's time to start moving forward here. His Mothership needs 20 more energy before it can Vortex, though. And he's going to be able to target this Nexus down potentially.
And of course, Horror knows about the energy deficit that the Mothership has. He already clicked on it. And the Nexus is down. And now Horror can decide if he wants to move back or if he wants to commit to this. As long as it's a good position, everything's possible for him here.
Yeah, he's trying to keep his roaches up front so the Vortex cannot hit the important units.
Neural Parasite being researched, so important against the Mothership.
Yeah, if he gets one Neural off on the Mothership, that's all it takes.
He can use the energy for a Vortex, can Vortex the army of his opponent, and then make sure that this Mothership is not going to do anything.
A few more roaches coming across the map as +3 armor is almost finished for Rain, but it's not quite there yet. The Broodlords with no upgrades, attack or otherwise.
That's a bit of a problem, of course, here for Horror. +1 attack is actually done at this point. Just when you said it.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, the Roach is a little bit out of position. Of course, he wants to have some supply in order to get those Corruptors into the game.
All right, here we go. Bully tries to sneak around to get the Neural. He can't get in. 15 Corruptors on the way. That was a nice move by Horror. He was like, can I get this? Can I try this? Mothership's a little bit at the back, but I think the safer choice was made.
I like that Horror tries to open up some supply by trading the Roaches, but if you would have used Drop into the natural once again, I think that would have been more effective.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Takes more time, though.
He's using some burrows still, though, which is really annoying to deal with. But the burrow means that he's not freeing up the supply, so, you know, it's kind of a catch-22, if you will.
There are a lot of Corruptors at this time. He's getting really quite a few of them into the game because he wants to take down this Mothership. I'm actually wondering if he overdoes it a little bit. 21 Corruptors is not really what you need to take down a Mothership.
Yeah, and it's not going to matter if the Mothership still gets the Vortex off, so he's going to have to be really careful with these. That's some resources just lost there.
Most likely, Rain is going to use at least one of his Vortexes to take down the Corruptors into a Vortex because he needs to protect it.
Yep.
But Horror still doesn't have the 5th base.
And that's becoming a problem. With the aggressive army of Rain, he's not going to be able to take one to the bottom right. There's a pylon at the top left, a spot for potential hatchery there, so he won't be able to get away with that.
The first player to actually take a 5th base is Rain now. And for Horror, this also means Horror is going to run out of minerals before Rain does, because he killed his opponent's base so often that Rain was not able to really mine at the 4th. So either Horror has to decide the game or take a 5th, and taking the 5th to the right side is a little weird.
Wow, and no cancel on that hatch. That's 300 minerals lost plus the drone. Horror is in a scary position right now. He needs to take a fight. He needs to take one convincingly, and now he's not waiting anymore. He's moving his Corruptors across. He's got to be oh so careful with these. Uh-oh. Oh, so close to Vortex range there.
Yeah, exactly. I already saw the Vortex coming in. I was a little bit scared for Horror here. This is a very close thing. Rain and Horror, guys, remember, this is the last game. Whoever loses it is out of the WCS Korea. This is really important here.
Vortex is queued, and he gets most of the Corruptors. I love how premature he was with that Q. He actually waited for the units to come through, and oh wow, he's trying to block these Archons out, but several of them get in.
And Fungal would have been better to accomplish the same thing.
Exactly, a second Vortex goes off here, he gets several of the Broodlords, and the Archons come out doing their damage. He does not kill the Corruptors though.
The Mothership is gone here. The Mothership is gone, and how about the Archons? We still have a lot of Broodlords left. Now there come the Stalkers blinking into flank, and here we go. The Broodlords survive! They survive!
Yeah, just barely getting that survive on both the Broodlords and the Corruptors. This is the best possible scenario for Horror here.
And Horror has to move. He has to move now. This is his time.
He's waiting though.
Why would you wait?
What is he waiting for? He doesn't have any Infestor energy left, so if he waits too long, the Stalkers will blink in, and they do.
Oh, the Infestor without the energy, you're so right. That's the reason why he doesn't want to commit to the Stalkers with the blink. Now, nice block with the Infestor Terrans, another blink by the Stalkers, and he takes down too many of these Broodlords. You're so right, Wolf. It was the Infestor energy that he was lacking. He could not move in,
and now he's losing everything.
Closer than I thought.
He's got so little bank. I mean, yeah, he's got some to remake a few units. He's making Lings right now, but the problem is that the base to the bottom right is up for Rain. He's going to try to take it out with some Infestor Terrans to the bottom right, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill that Nexus, not with 4 eggs, no.
Horror wins this fight decisively, then he's out of Infestor energy and he can't move in. Rain probably retreating and thinking, why doesn't he follow me? And then, well, he doesn't have energy to Fungal, so let's go. Blinked in, took it down, and now Rain is in a great position. It really looked like he would be out of luck, but now he's in a superb position to take the game.
Yeah, now this is the hatchery top left. I was talking about that pylon up there. Spots the hatch, warps in 3 zealots, kills it, no cancel. 300 more minerals lost. He's making 48 Lings right now. The income right now for Horror is 1,000 minerals per minute, but as soon as that base mines out, the base to the left, the 4th base, as soon as that base is out of minerals, he is out of this game because he doesn't have anywhere else to mine, and Rain's not going to let him.
Income is a lot better now for Rain because he just started to mine at the bottom right, so he has 3 mining bases against 1.
Yes.
And the income is getting so much better for Rain at this point in time. He's getting additional upgrades now as well, and Horror, yes, they are on the same army supply, but still, this is getting very scary for our Zerg. Yeah, the Casper player in a great position.
Look at their production tab consistently, and you'll see that the Protoss is always doing more, because that is what this income is going to allow him to do. 3 more gates, Archon, Warp Prism, plus 2 shields. Dump 300 minerals into 2 cannons. All of these things that Horror cannot do. He can't make spines. He can only make some Lings that he's going to try to use probably to do some harassment, but with the cannons that have been made, he is going to be in a great position down here at the bottom right. He's got 6 cannons up.
A great game that we see here, guys. 32 minutes into the match already, and the Casper and the GSL player, they are reeling, fighting for life now. Every single unit that's on the line counts. Nice Fungals here, but what are they going to achieve? Them Infestors!
Oh yeah, that was not a good trade. Not with the economy situation he's in right now.
He's taking down the Archon and a lot of Stalkers though. So, well, in the end it worked out in his favor. Horror once again up in army supply, but still losing the Infestors is a huge deal.
And it looks like he just lost his Spire as well.
The warp in here, and those Zealots with the upgrades that they have doing a fair amount of damage.
With no Spire, he can't make any more Corruptors.
In
Infestation Pit might go down as well.
The Queen already gone.
And he targets it. The Zealots are blocked by the Lings. He will be able to save the Infestation, but it looks like here, well, maybe not. It's pretty close. He does not target, but it still isn't over yet.
The Spine Crawler is gone, and so, actually, no, there come the Zerglings. Zerglings moving in right now, and the Zealots are finally out of luck. They're on 3 attack, 3 armor, and 2 shields already. Nearly maxed out in upgrades.
The Mothership is back now as well. 145 energy available as I speak. And another pylon has been placed so we can attack this hatch. Scouts it right now. 4 Zealots are warped in. No way anything is close enough to stop this. He's bringing his Broodlords back up to the top level. Let me get... I don't think you guys have to guess how long it's going to take them to get over there. The Zealots will kill this hatchery 100%.
And as we pointed out, Aura is on a clock. He's now down in supply and he just doesn't have the income anymore. It's so much better for his opponent. Actually, Rain is doubling the amount of income that Horror has, and he has 3 times the gas income.
Oh, this is such an unfortunate position for Horror. He is really trying to fight his way through here. He had to spend 200 gas on that Spire that he just remade. If he wants more Broodlords, he's going to have to spend 200 more gas. Oh, this is an uncomfortable position to say the least. And the Zealots are still alive. He's actually going to run by and go and kill another hatchery potentially. The Broodlords, if they die once, he will not be able to remake them. He cannot afford it.
Horror is hanging at a cliff with one hand, and slowly but steadily his fingers are slipping away. He's currently holding on with 2 of them, but it looks like Rain is finally stomping his hand and making sure that he's going to fall into the abyss.
Yep. And here is one finger. Losing the Broodlords will basically be 1 finger left. The other finger is this 4th base that he has, which is slowly starting to mine out.
And it's the last, this is the last chance that Horror has to take down this army. But how?
The Broodlords are all Vortex, all of them, and he gets the Neural just a second too late.
This Neural is not going to help him. The Arkansas is going to take care of the Broodlords. Look at this.
Prepare
and here we
for
come.
A massacre. Cover your eyes, children, because
tick, tick, boom.
all
Bye-bye.
of them explode.
Booyah.
GG.